Hi, I'm Rick Conlow. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to 3 Keys to Succeeding as a Leader. 2 steps to servant leadership. Kind of pull it all together in the beginning. First, help other people be successful and get what they want. And second, you'll be successful and get what you want. They go hand in hand. But the first and only rule of leadership, it's not about you. It's about the team. Hey, say excellent. I know no one else is around. Just do it. Get us started with a positive mindset. 1, 2, 3, excellent. So what do you want out of your management career? You know what? This is a perfect time to make adjustments and positive changes. In this world we have today, organizations are faced with unprecedented global challenges anywhere in the world. We just don't compete about the company next to us, but the company in the next state, the next country, the next continent. And so it's critical that we elevate our capabilities. That's what we're talking about here today. So I'm going to share with you the state of the art of management wherever you may go, and I'll go through this quickly, but 50% of managers didn't know improving service quality can reduce costs. 50% of managers don't understand that employees will repeat behavior that is rewarded. 60% of managers don't think it's right to brag about employees in front of others, and 2/3 of managers don't set goals in writing with their team, and 70% of managers don't know that the best way to solve an employee problem is through a mutual decision-making process. 80% of managers didn't know that when you give feedback to employees about their performance, it should be specific. And 80 to 95, get this, 80 to 95% of service and quality problems are management related, not employee related. 82% of managers fail, and 85% of employees worldwide are disengaged. 89% of managers don't trust their employees, and 91% of employees like and want more recognition. Some they don't get, say they don't get any at all ever. So how would you grade managers here? Would you give them an A, B, D, or F? Well, most people would give them an F. In other words, the state of the art of leadership is lacking. Now, you may be better than all that, and I hope you are. In fact, you probably wouldn't be here watching this if you weren't one of those individuals who want to keep developing their skills. And that's what we need in managers. So the 3 keys are, first, keep learning. Success and learning go hand in hand. Generally, the best managers are the ones that keep developing themselves first, then along with their team, and then the team becomes more successful and they get better results. It isn't always the one that drives the hardest and beats people up and threatens to fire people. That isn't what creates great results. It may in short term because people want to keep their jobs, but then they all go out and start looking for another one. So we got to keep learning. Olympic athletes are classic examples of that. 10,000 hours of practice over 4 years to get themselves ready to compete with the best of the best. And whether you like it or not, you're competing with the best of the best, no matter what industry you are in or what level you are in, because this is a global economy. So we need that kind of effort and practice. Most managers get 8 to 10 hours of training a year. That's not enough. It isn't good enough. Yes, get all that your company can provide, if they provide any, but do it on your own as well. So keep learning. Here is our superstar leadership model, and great managers know these things. They learn these things and get good at them. You'll see all the elements that are listed there. I'm going to talk about more things a little bit later, but just notice this, some of the basics: setting goals, coaching, training, developing promotions, good communications, all of these. We got to constantly, continually be a student of the game, because what happens is over time we develop habits and we get into a way of doing things, and then that leads to mediocrity. So we got to constantly challenge ourselves, and that's what learning does. So keep at it. Keep doing it. Almost any manager can become a good manager, if not a great manager, a servant leader with a commitment to learning, hard work, and helping other people succeed. All of these go together. It isn't easy necessarily. All excellence is equally difficult. But if we keep at it, we can get there. Then the second thing is you got to change. Now, this is dangerous because how do most people handle change? They resist us. Notice this information on the screen here. What do you notice first thing? Take a look at it. What is it? Did you get something? Okay. Did you notice this? That the second one is wrong, right? Yeah. But also the other two are right. This demonstrates where managers tend to put their focus. It's often a cultural thing that a company emphasizes, catching people doing things wrong as opposed to catching people doing things right. There are two positives here, two things right. We need to focus on that first with our team. That's what servant leaders do. And then second, they work on the areas for development, as some would say, weaknesses. Put your hands together. Notice which thumb you have on top. Take them apart. Reclasp them with the other thumb on top. How does that feel? A little uncomfortable? Fold your arms. Notice which hand's tucked in. Take them apart. Fold them with the other hand tucked in if you can. I had one person going like this. He goes, that's uncomfortable. It is. Change is uncomfortable. You're not going to be perfect when you're trying new things and in how you coach and the questions you ask or how to listen better or how to build a team or how to deal with conflict. It's always a little rocky in the beginning. So what we have to do is be consistently changing, not once in a while trying to change. Leadership today is a high contact sport. Yes, in a digital world. There's all sorts of apps and software packages and portals and things that we use to track employees, to measure employees, to communicate with them today. All the reports that you get. I had one manager call me up and said, Rick, I don't have time for my people. I got all this data I got to wade through. This is the day and age we're in. But we still need that personal contact. So we can do it on the phone. We can do it on the text. We can do it through email. We can do it through all the apps and portals that your company might have. It depends on how you do it. That makes a difference. And we can learn to do that. I send texts all the time. When I send the text, I say, hi, Rick, and I give the information. It's personal. And I'll say positively using my name. So it's a little different just saying, give me that information. You know how that often happens? Or an email that way. We have to be better than that. Even in Teams meetings or Zoom meetings, they're often impersonal. You know, the leader speaks and everybody else listens. Well, you can get people engaged using the chat boxes or the checkout rooms that you can put people in, having them do an exercise, have other people report on the meeting. We can do that. That's where we get more high contact. So we can use the tools today, still be personal, but still develop positive relationships. That's where you achieve breakthrough performance. So you got to keep learning. You got to be willing to change and work on it yourself. Just like you want your people to be higher performers, you have to be a better performer. On the count of three, say fantastic. 1, 2, 3, fantastic. All right, let's go to the third thing. It's about service. Now, it makes sense. Servant leadership, service. But the difference between management and leadership is often about the heart, the unseen, the human spirit, the internal motivations, the dreams, the hopes, the fears that the team have. Something we got to talk about those things in our coaching sessions, in our team meetings. And when we do, we touch people's heart. They know that we care about them. We want to help them succeed. Dr. Martin Luther King's famous quote says that not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great because greatness is determined by service. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. And he also says life's most urgent question is, what are you doing for others? When we serve others, when we help other people win, we win. And so we got to be willing to serve. Now, part of that service is understanding people and what they want. Research says, Frederick Herzberg, here's what people want. They want to achieve things. They want recognition. They have pride in the work itself, so they want to be recognized for that. They want more responsibility, advancement, growth, and learning. And in this day and age of multicultural, generational workforces, people want purpose. They want to make a difference in this world. They want teamwork. That's inclusion, camaraderie, socialization, and they want flexibility, work-life balance, hybrid work. So the more of these we can provide as a servant leader, the more our team raises their game and elevates their effectiveness. There are 7 serving skills. Check these out. Communicating with positivity, not negativity. You ever work for a manager that was negative? I had one that always would say, "What'd you sell for me today?" As it was all about him, not you. Didn't care what your problems or issues were. Contrast that with another manager who was a great coach, and he'd sit down with us one-on-one on a weekly basis, and I learned that from him. And then he'd say, "Rick, tell me what's going on. What's on your mind?" He started with me. Big difference. That's what I'm talking about here. Ongoing coaching and training, 60, 70, 80 hours a year. If your company doesn't provide it, you provide it. Get your team involved in helping to provide it. Praising and encouraging. Those are great skills that we have to do with our team. People want recognition. They want to know that they're appreciated. Sharing opportunities for learning, training, and growing. We have one real-time learning and training. Use that resource. There's many others out there. Demonstrating empathy and listening. That's trying to understand the other person's point of view. There's a great misnomer about listening. Listening, people often think, is just paraphrasing, saying, "What I hear you saying is," well, sure, you can do that, but the goal of listening is not agreement. The goal of listening is understanding. That's what I'm talking about here. Then asking the team for input. Getting them involved in the planning session for your team. Doing it yearly, quarterly, monthly updates. Asking them for their opinion. Employee engagement surveys. When you check in with them and you coach them, one of the questions you want to ask in coaching near the end of the session is, "How can I help you better? What can I do differently or better?" That's what I'm talking about here. And then clarifying expectations and goals. One research report we found said that 80% of problems in performance relates to a lack of clear expectations and goals. So you need company goals, departmental goals, and individual goals for each person. And the individual, personal, and business related. And when you do both of those, it demonstrates that you care about their success and their career development. So that's what we're talking about. Gallup says when you do these kinds of things I just mentioned, it raises the key performance drivers of employee engagement. That's from everything to employee retention, to productivity, to customer service, to sales, to individual performance and ideas shared, those kinds of things. 202% on those drivers. Wow. Now, in conclusion, here's a person called Suki, a superstar. She was a manager, a woman manager in a male-dominated company. You see her with others. She wins an award for her team in terms of her performance. Why? Because she was willing to keep learning. She was willing to change, and she was willing to serve. Helping others be successful, then you become successful. She did that and rose rapidly in that organization. On a count of three, say awesome. 1, 2, 3, awesome. All right. Hey, great job for sticking with this here today. We have a book on servant leadership called The 5 Dynamics of Servant Leadership. The information is below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this. Thank you for coming.